The one thing I always adored about Pajama Sam was the pure innocence of the plot. You can pretty much sum up the storyline in one sentence. Little boy goes into his closet to conquer his fear of the dark. What more could you need? Humongous Entertainment produced a lot of great adventure games back in the 90s. Spy Fox and Dry Cereal, Freddy Fish in the Case of the Stolen Conch Shell, Putt Putt Travels Through Time. You know, I always thought I was alone in liking these games. Like I was the only kid to have ever heard of them, to have ever grown up with them. I mean, they were just simple point and clicks, nothing special, nothing challenging. But over time, I found out Humongous Entertainment really was something special. A lot of people grew up with these games. Like you. And you. And you. Well, maybe not you. These games were fun. They were clever. And most importantly, they had really great characters. Each of their trademark characters had a whole series of their own games, and each series had its own thematic style. Spy Fox was tricky and sneaky. Freddy Fish was mysterious and puzzling. And Putt Putt was, well, Putt Putt. But my favorite of them all would have to be Pajama Sam. Yes, Pajama Sam. The little boy with the flashlight. And the lunchbox. And the pajamas. Good times. The Pajama Sam games seemed different from the rest, in the fact that they were just kinda quirky. Pajama Sam would always involve a really simple plot, a really simple problem that could easily be fixed. But, being the eccentric little child he is, Sam would always go to frighteningly great extremes to solve his problems. The next thing you knew, that simple little plot flipped itself upside down into a heap of surreal ideas. For example, in one of the games, Sam is afraid of thunder and lightning, and he wants the thunderstorm outside to stop.
Someone's gotta go upstairs and do something about this weather.
So, what does he do? Well, he climbs up into his attic, jumps into the clouds, finds a factory in the sky where all the weather comes from, and he confronts thunder and lightning in person to put a stop to their wretched weather once and for all. But my favorite game was always the first one. Pajama Sam, No Need to Hide When It's Dark Outside. This adorable little game had probably the coolest setting of any point and click I'd ever played. The story of the game was very simple. Basically, Sam can't sleep because he's afraid of the dark. So, he decides to journey into his closet, where darkness apparently lives. This takes him to a world called the Land of Darkness, which is like a giant interdimensional version of his closet.
Wow, this looks like where darkness lives, all right. I better go find him before Mom notices I'm gone.
So basically, this is still his room, and presumably, the Land of Darkness all takes place in his imagination. This is my favorite kind of story, the escapist fantasy, or so I call it. It's a type of story that follows a little kid who has a problem with the world they live in. But instead of solving their problems in this world, they create a world of their own. We've seen this set up in countless other stories, like Alice in Wonderland, The Wizard of Oz, and Where the Wild Things Are. I've brought it up before. But the thing I like about Pajama Sam, more than any of these stories, is that the main character is in this world for one very particular reason. To conquer his fear of the dark. He has an objective, and that gives the journey direction and a ton of personality. In Alice in Wonderland, we know that Alice is tired of things making sense. She just wants a world where things don't make sense. And in the end, she learns that chaos is just a little too senseless for her to handle. In Wizard of Oz, the main character Dorothy is just troubled. She's more or less having a dream where she faces all her troubles and calms herself down. And in Where the Wild Things Are, well, this kid's just pissed off. He wants to create a world where he'll be happy. Pajama Sam is the only one of these stories I can think of that actually has a solid objective and a lot of direction. Honestly, I think this would have made a great children's book. Not only for the simplicity of the story, but for the setting and the characters. I love the Land of Darkness, all the sleepy, soft hues of the landscape, the dark purples and midnight blues that tint the environment. The world is so colorful and alive. The characters are funny and memorable, and the friendships Sam makes with all these characters along the way are all charmingly different. Early on in the game, there's a wooden boat named Otto who's afraid to get in the water because he doesn't think wood can float.
I had this friend and he told me this story about his dentist brother who, he was made of wood and he got in the water and he sank.
Really?
Straight to the bottom. It's so scary. I wish I'd been a car.
Later on, there's a wishing well who thinks he should make all the wishes himself.
I wish the grass were greener here.
Why are you wishing? I threw the penny in.
Who's the wishing well here, you or me?
Oh.
And there's also a toaster who loves to play tic-tac-toe, or as he calls it, cheese and crackers.
Hey, this is like tic-tac-toe.
Tic-tac-who? No, this is cheese and crackers.
Oh, and back to the wishing well. Did I mention that he makes absolutely no sense? When you first meet him, he tells you to call him Rimpleglop or something.
You can call me Rafelglop.
But apparently that isn't his name.
Where'd you get a name like that?
I didn't say it was my name. I just said you could call me that, if you want to.
Makes about as much sense as a smoking caterpillar sitting on a mushroom. In fact, Pajama Sam is very much like Alice in Wonderland. Sam goes through problem after problem after problem before reaching his destination, and the adventure just gets sillier and wonkier as time goes by. Eventually, Sam finds his things and makes his way into Darkness's bedroom, which strangely looks a lot like Sam's bedroom. He walks into the closet and finally confronts Darkness, and he finds out Darkness is apparently just misunderstood.
Why would you want to put me in a box?
So I won't have to be scared of you anymore?
You're scared. I'm the one who's going to be stuck in the box.
So, instead of capturing Darkness, Sam befriends Darkness. After that, he exits the closet, finds himself back in his own bedroom, and climbs into bed, peacefully drifting off to sleep.
What a perfect little story.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to check out my other two shows below, Underneath Hidden Games and Underneath Fragments. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe.